Welcome back to another week of Instigating with Clarkey and Drury, brought to you by our friends at Conway Furniture, Highway 86, east end of Listowel, our friends at Larry Hudson, Chevrolet Buick GMC, and of course, the Listowel Squash Courts. Ryan here with Clarkey, and we're very pleased to be joined by another esteemed guest. It's a very special guest, okay? Clarkey, you know, we talk a lot about winners on this show. We talk about winning a lot, and we've got a serial winner on the program, a great friend of the show, a favorite son of Listowel, Ontario, where we are situated. Ladies and gentlemen, this man locally, he needs no introduction. Caleb Warren's on the podcast. Caleb, how you doing, brother?
Well, I'm a big fan, and I'm happy to be back. You guys are I'm a big fan of the show, for one, because you guys keep me up to date with all the local sports. So I was just telling these guys a little earlier, I'm surprised to be back. To be honest, I didn't expect myself to be in this situation, but it's been a whirlwind of a week, so I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, and it has been a whirlwind, and let's dig right into it. Now, everybody in town here and around the area already knows you as an all-time great Listowel Cyclone, a captain, a winner, 2 back-to-back Cherrey Cups, the first ever Sutherland Cup in Listowel Cyclones history, a great OUA player, and now another title on your mantelpiece, the OEHL Cup, a champion with the Minto 81s. Warzy, do you ever walk into a locker room now and just expect not to win at the end of the year? Seriously.
Well, I think I've been pretty blessed, honestly. The teams that I've played on, the coaches that I've had a chance to be under. But I will say, like, I've been so blessed with the kids that I've grown up playing hockey with. And to say, like, to do it all over again this recently, with some of the same guys that I did in the Sutherland Cup run, it's just something special. I'm a lucky kid. You can say winners win and stuff, but it's a whole lot more to it than that. And I think I'm really blessed to be part of this group that's had so much success over the years.
Walk us through the season with the Minto 81s. When did you think maybe this year was a little bit special and you had a chance to go all the way?
Yeah, it was. So I didn't know if I was going to be playing. I'm living down in Toronto right now. The last couple seasons, I'd come home from Queens as much as I could, playing the playoffs for them. And, you know, it just, as much as we had a lot of good players and we're trying to build something there, nothing seemed to work. And we're getting first round exits year after year. And there wasn't much anticipation into this year. But then I met with Fiske in the summer, who's our head coach, and Brian Nickel. And they kind of just let a lot of the players take the reins. Who do you want to be here? Who can you get to be here? And the tough thing with senior hockey is it's tough to get that full commitment from a lot of guys. So you're playing half the season with not the roster that you're going to be going into playoffs with. So I think that kind of helped us in a way, because we got the playoffs and we kind of snuck under the radar a little. We came third. It was really like tight league in that sense. And then we finally had our full lineup. And when I say, like, this is one of the deepest teams I've ever played on, oh my gosh, like you look at the roster, we had a bunch of the Kitchener Dutchmen, a couple of Myers Sugar Kings, a couple Stratford Cullitons. And it was pretty much the leaders from each of that group from the years that I played in it. And we brought them all together. And it just meshed. We had 3 or 4 lines, and you could just see by the end of playoffs, like, it was just, and honestly, we wanted to win. And I think we realized that we had a team to win maybe around Christmas, but it was a matter of getting the full lineup out, which we just didn't have all year. And once we did, it was just, I didn't think anyone could compete in this league with us. And that's kind of what it turned out to be.
It's an incredible collection of guys that have won at so many different levels. And, you know, you mentioned it, it's kind of interesting for you to kind of reflect back to those junior days and now end up on the same bench as some of those Kitchener Dutchmen and Elmira Sugar Kings and Stratford Cullitons from back in the day. Like, what's that dynamic like for you? Because, I mean, these were guys that, you know, you were beating back in the day with those great Cyclones clubs. And now you're on the same bench, pulling on the same rope, trying to win a championship. That's got to be a really fun and interesting dynamic that really feels like it's something that's almost unique to hockey in a way sometimes, Caleb.
Super unique. I think, for example, there's a player on our team, Adam Pollock, probably one of the most skilled players I ever played against in the GOJHL. We hated him, to be honest. Like playing with Brooksy, like and you could ask Kowalik. I'm pretty sure after we won, he just kept coming up to Blake and I, just saying, "You hated me. I know you guys hated me." And like it's a funny locker room dynamic, and I've had that all throughout the years. The difference between having a guy in the dressing room and being friends with him off the ice versus on the ice. There's so many, and it just, for those guys, a lot of them hadn't won anything. They had a lot of success in the regular season, especially the Dutchman players, but then when it came to playoffs, they didn't have the success that we had. And I think that's where we garnered a lot of respect from the guys. They would listen to us, and I think you're able to kind of capture a locker room in that sense. You have a group that's proven winners and been able to do it before, and you can kind of, it's a lot easier when you have a good group of guys that are willing to listen to you, and it's just, I think the good part about it all was we brought some of the leaders from each of those teams, and it was a really easy locker room to lead. And we're men now. Like I'm 26 years old, and you're not going to change a player or change their identity as a player at 26 years old. So you learn to work with the guys, and you create a locker room culture that's about winning, but having fun and showing up on the weekends. We really look forward to it. Like it was something that we built, and it was awesome.
In the same vein, you played against some of the guys you played with in Listowel, and one guy in particular, Holden Lancic, played in Seaforth. Now, I don't think he played in all the games, but what was it like going up against those guys?
Yeah. Lanny's like the perfect epitome of a guy where he's the most lovable guy off the ice, but on the ice, I would hate playing against him. And in that first series against Seaforth, God, he ever get like up on our nerves, and it was hilarious. But like once you meet these guys off the ice, you realize they're just another human. They're exactly like one of us, and it's kind of cool. It's cool to have that rivalry on the ice, and I think that's the thing about senior hockey too that you don't get in junior or anything before is after each game, no matter win or loss, playoffs, finals, or anything, both teams go to the beer gardens after and have a little meal together, and no matter what happens on the ice. So it's like and you think of a guy like Holden, he had a lot of success in Seaforth, and he kind of did the same thing that we did in Minto this year. He brought in he enforced a really good culture there, and they had some success for 2 years, and we were lucky to get out of the first round by them. It's pretty unfortunate that we had to play them the first round, but once we got past them, it was a lot easier, I thought.
You know, you reflect back on some of these times, and, you know, obviously, like Clarkey mentioned, yeah, that's the other side of the dynamic. Guys you used to be teammates with, now, you know, at least on the ice, they're the enemy. But that's always been a unique thing to me as well about hockey. You know, Caleb, you know, when you're in junior, you're kind of playing for one club, and that's all that matters. And yeah, they're guys that you don't know them as well at that time, and you kind of grow to hate them. And then, you know, now you mention it, that maturity comes in. You're all young men now who have grown up, and you're all leading adult lives, and that's kind of a special bond, right? And I feel like that in a way is also something that I find is very, maybe not unique, but certainly more common in hockey, is the amount of guys that, you know, off the ice years later, you end up developing a bond with. I mean, it seems to be like a really tight brotherhood, and that must be something special. It's special to win, of course, but that must be a special thing to be able to have those type of relationships with guys that maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago, you never would have thought you'd have.
Yeah, it was the biggest thing I think about with senior hockey is you kind of realize, like, in the grand scheme of things, hockey isn't everything. And you look back to our mindsets when we won the Sutherland Cup, like, we were all 19, 18, 20-year-old naive kids, and hockey was everything. It was our entire life. But then with senior, we have an entire life outside the game. So to do something special while still maintaining the balance of having kids and having to work far away. Like there's the guy on our team that was actually, he's been sober for six months now. So it's stuff like that you're 26 years old, you're able to cultivate a friendship, a bond with these players a lot deeper maybe than you would in junior. And I think it's special to be able to not practice the same amount, still play this high level of hockey and only see each other on weekends, but still be able to create that culture. I think that's the most special. That's the specialist part about the whole experience, the whole playoffs for us, is because in that short amount of time you're able to bond with these guys, and now you create some lifelong friendships that maybe you wouldn't have from junior, right? It's like it's a lot different experience, but I'm really grateful for it. Like I'm really grateful that I chose to come back, and then we chose to recruit the players that we did, because I met some fantastic men. Like I seriously, I when I say like this is one of the coolest teams I've been a part of, it seriously was. It meant a lot to us to win that.
You mentioned, hockey not being the be all and end all. Well, when you get to my age, it does become once again the be all and end all. And you just I live and breathe Maple Leafs hockey and playing hockey in the KHL Sunday mornings in Kurtzville with Keaton Willis and the boys. Tell him to keep his shots down, will you please?
He was. We wanted Keith to. He's probably lighting up the KHL in Wallace, isn't he? He was supposed to play with us in Minto.
Well, when he's shooting against me, he certainly is. That's for sure. And he hurts me all the time. Like I just go down. Like I'm old, man. And it hurts when he hits me.
Clarkey, that guy can rip it.
That
guy can rip it.
Oh, I know. I've seen it firsthand, man. I've seen it firsthand. Hey,
look at
give
these
me a
guys
scouting report.
here.
Yeah, look at this. This is awesome.
This is amazing. What a feeling, eh? It's incredible. Go ahead.
If you're watching on YouTube. I was just going to say, like, KHL is a very unique group, and yet it's by invitation only. Yeah. And there's a guy who plays with you, Cole Pellet. You got to give me the scouting report on Cole. I do work with Cole. Is he eligible for KHL material, you think?
We can't. He's got to play at least one more season in Minto and defend the crown, then I'll let him go. The thing I love about Cole is seriously one of the most genuine, kind guys I've ever played with. And he's such a hard worker. God, he's one of those guys on the team that you're just rooting for. And the role that he bought into and played, I swear he was one of our most consistent scorers. And he didn't play the biggest minutes on our team at all. And he was one of the most consistent scorers, always had a smile on his face. Like, God, he's a teammate that the KHL would be lucky to have in a couple of years.
Okay, good. We'll keep that in mind. We have our season finale is this Saturday at the Steve Kerr at 5:00. If you're looking for something to do, you should come check it out. It'll be good. It'll be real good. Right, I'm on the young guys team. It's young guys versus old guys. So Keaton will be on my team this week.
I'm the younger guys team.
Yeah, I'm the younger goalie. So Matty McLeod's the older goalie.
There you go. All our viewers here seeing the celebration here at the OEHL Cup, courtesy of our friends over at 519 Sports. Support them if you can. Our buddy Darren Stevenson does a great job covering local sports. And, Warzy, you mentioned how deep this team was, how much fun this group was. I look at this and it's just filled with a who's who of junior players that I've covered here in my career. Going down this list, I mean, you had Dan DeConning, and that guy's a legend. But you're looking down this list, Brendan Clayton, one of the hardest hitters I've ever seen. Blake Nickel. I mean, look at this forward group. Blair Bushert, Riley Cribben, Stephen Grant, Trent Verbeek, who scored one of the biggest goals in Cyclones history, Ryan Litt, yourself. I mean, look at this list. Clayton Holscher, who at the time when he retired as a Mount Forest Patriot, he had the all-time goals record for the Patriots, which of course was broken this year by Brody LeBlanc. But this is a seriously ridiculous. This looks and reads like a junior hockey Midwestern Ontario CKNX All-Star team. That's what this reads like, Caleb.
Seriously. And if you look at our playoffs, we had, especially the forward group, you could have an off game, and there was about 9 go-to guys on our team. Guys who had played in every level that they played before were the go-to guy on their team, whether it was junior C, junior B, junior A, whatever it was. And you had that collection, you had that Mount Forest group that won together with Holscher and Lance and Cribben and Butcher. And they had success as a group, but they were all go-to guys in the league that they played in. Then you have the Dutchman, you have Jordan Delorier and Mark Williams. Like you said, Dan de Koning. Dan de Koning is one of the best goalies I've ever played with. And just the way it happened was Mark Williams was rolling and Mark Williams was our starter. To have those two in net, like I just don't know how you get beat with those two in net. I remember trying to score on Willie when he played for the Dutchman, and it was impossible. And then you have him and Kowalik, and then you have the Listowel guys. You have this collection from each area that were all proven winners in all their respective leagues and stuff. And you come together, and it created quite the team. It was seriously quite the team to be a part of. And by the sounds of it, to be honest, it sounds like a lot of the guys are coming back. And you have guys like Teddy Nickel and Chase Herford all messaging us. And so who knows? Who knows what the future holds for the Minto 81s, but it's bright, I think.
I would say so. One thing I'll say on that note, well, Tonka Ted would be a welcome addition on any team. And Chase Herford might be the most clutch breakaway scorer I've ever seen live. I mean, when Steve Sabrin and I used to see that guy get open space on a breakaway on the radio, I would always hold my breath because I knew something special was coming.
Yeah. But I felt really bad for Chase because he was humming and hawing about doing it this year. He's doing chiropractic school down in Toronto. So I was going to just carpool with him back to the games. But Minto's his whole hometown. Palmerston's his hometown. So he was at a couple of games in the playoffs, and Darcy was giving him I think it was a little hard for him, and I hope it made him come around the corner about next year. But he is a great kid. Like he's a welcome addition to any team, especially at this level.
Yeah, he's a special player. By the way, his sister, pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes. Clarkey, go ahead.
No, I was just going to change topics if I could talk about the Cyclones. Please. As they get ready for the finals. My buddy, who I also work with, Trent McClement, the GM of the team, says they're ready to go. What do you think?
So I could give you guys that answer maybe in an hour or something. I'm going to help them out at practice tonight. I'm going to work with the centerman on draws, the way Brooks used to teach me. So I've been to one game, just the Caledon game, just the way my schedule was working, the first Caledon game. But this group, like when I tell you, like they remind me so much of the group that we had. The foundation of local boys leading the way, then the top end scoring talent. It just reminds me of the group that we had. And Pete Nickel actually told my dad the other night, he said he thinks this group would have beat our Cherrey Cup group. So it's been a debate going around the room, and I guess they got to prove that that's the case by winning the Cherrey Cup. But like seriously, like for the town of Listowel and this organization, it's led extremely well, like straight from the top with Greg McNiven. And I'm so happy that they're back to their winning ways, because it took a couple of years to get back to what we did for this town and stuff. But the kids that I know, the local boys, I really do believe in them. I think the depth that they have, everything, that it should all align. It's just against Stratford, you never know. Going into the Allman, like it's the biggest rivalry ever, and to play the Cherrey Cup against them, what an exciting series this is going to be. And I hope I really want to be part of it. It's so fun.
And Dave Williams, I mean, he just continued, of course, former Cyclone boss too. Like that guy's a legend. He just continuously rebuilds and restocks that club. It's going to be an amazing series. As always, remember, we'll have the full series for you available on CKNX AM 920, cknx.ca. Every single game through the Cherrey Cup and hopefully a lengthy Sutherland Cup will be on the air. I'll be on the call for the first game. And obviously, Wars, you kind of joke about the debate about which team might be better. I obviously have a little bit of a bias toward you and the group, right? And Sabby would too, Steve Sabern, who calls all the games, because CKNX junior hockey started in 2004, 2005 with the first Cherrey Cup run for the Cyclones. And Steve waited a long time for that Sutherland to come around, much like the franchise did. So we would have a bias toward your crew. I think your crew might be just slightly better, but that's just me. But yeah, talk about it, because you look, and that's what we talked about about a week into the season, Steve and I had a conversation and said, boy, this team looks real similar to that 2018 team. And you look at that depth up front, you've got your star scorers, the Burketts and the Uhrig brothers, of course. And then you look down at some of the role players, Captain Carter Coombs, a kid just absolutely punishes himself every night for that team. Brady Smith, you got the guys on the back end, Renault, he reminds me a lot of Keaton Willis, and two incredible goaltenders too. And by the way, Jesse Cole named head coach of the year in the Midwest Conference. Congratulations, Kohler, one of the best guys out there. And the two goaltenders, Dixon Grimes and Riley Arts, best team goals against average in the conference as well. And, I saw you at that Caledon playoff game, Warzy, and got to run into you and have a conversation. You'd mentioned you were helping out with the team. That must feel incredibly special to you. Like, you're a Listowel boy. It meant so much to you. You were the first guy I interviewed on the ice when the Sutherland Cup got raised. We were both in tears. I was so happy for you guys. And now, years later, to still have this level of connection with the team and be able to help maybe the next group of guys to bring that Sutherland home, like, that's got to feel incredibly special for you, man.
Oh yeah, honestly, like, it's the thing is, like, I think what you look for when you look for a winning team, especially at this level, because I think especially junior B, because I find the competition so close, and the margin between the middle of the pack and the top of the pack, it could go either way. But the thing with this group is they've been coached so well. The local guys were coached by Brooksy back, I don't know how many years that would have been, but that's where the first coaching experience that Brooksy had after Guelph, and he coached them to an All-Ontario championship. But then they had, like, the couple years, a lot of them had a struggling start in Listowel, and they didn't have the success that everyone thought they would. So when you look for a winning team, it's like a team that has experienced that loss, similar to the way we experienced it when we won the Sutherland Cup. We had those first 3 or 4 rough years in Listowel before we actually started turning into what we should have been. And to have that leadership of the local guys that you can instill the culture and bring back good old Cyclone Listowel hockey, they do have that. And they have Holden Lansink and Luke Israel, who I think the world of. I think they've done an amazing job. And I'm rooting for them. I seriously, like, and then you have that top end scoring talent. Like, I honestly, I don't see many holes with this group. I just hope that they can withstand the pressure, because the barn's going to be packed and there's going to be a lot of pressure on them, and you just never know how a series is going to go. And it's whether they can handle that. And I think they got a great group, and it's a privilege to be a part of it, because it just brings back a lot of nostalgia and a lot of memories. And I'm just happy to be there and be anything I can for those guys if they need anything to lean on or need a word of advice or anything like that.
That's why you're a leader, man. That's why you're a captain, a championship captain. You've done it again. I want to ask you finally about the Cyclones. It's interesting to me, you bring up Luke and Holden, who's been on the show a couple times as well. We love having Lanny on here, and I know you guys are both Red Wings fans, so we'll dig into that in a second too. Don't worry, because you and I have a little bit of a problem right now in the NHL standings, Caleb. But before we dig into that, you're around a bunch of guys, yourself included, that not only have won, but they continue to be involved in hockey in different roles than when they were playing junior. I think of a guy like Blair Butchert, who has GM experience in Junior C, and I know wants to get involved and continue, in his search to be an executive. And now you look at guys like Lanny and Israel, who are coaching, and Lanny cut his teeth in Junior C, won a title in Mitchell. Now he's back with the Cyclones. He's the all-time leading scorer. I mean, he's as legendary as it gets, another hometown kid. You spent a lot of time around him as a teammate and as a player, and what a player he was. Now you look at him coaching, like, what's maybe different about him as a coach as compared to a player? Because I remember that series against Hanover when he was in Mitchell. And, like, we knew him as a player, as a really intense guy. Like, he was always up, ready to go. never seemed nervous. And we saw him the night they won the cup in Hanover, and he was pacing up and down the hall. He was white as a ghost. And I joked with him and said, like, Lanny, what's the matter with you, man? Like, you've been in so many pressure playoff games. You're an all-time great player. What the hell's the matter with you? And he goes, guys, it's so much worse as a coach. Like, the poor kid was shuddering out there, but he cares so much. What's different about him as a coach as compared to when he was a player?
Yeah, like, and to add to that, like, I think I've been so lucky, and I really have to put an emphasis on it with the kids that I've played with and the people they've turned out to be. And I think a lot of it's a byproduct of the way we were coached in Listowel and the way we experienced junior hockey was a lot different than a lot of kids. I think we had a whole team, like, town rooting for us, but we had some great leadership with Brooksy right at the top, teaching us how to be young men. Because you look at Brady Anderson, he's head coach of the Hanover Barons. They might win this year, the Pollock, right? There's a reason why these guys are in the positions that they are. They're all leaders, and I may have had the C on my chest, but it was pretty easy being a captain of these teams, to be honest. Like, you have a guy like Holden who cares more about hockey than any kid in the room. And that's why he's be pacing. He's someone who pours his heart into everything, and you can really see that. Same with Luke Israel, same with Jesse Cole, same with Brady Anderson. They're in the positions that they are because they care, and the kids respect them. And that's why they have such good teams on the ice. I honestly think they're such good leaders.
They are, and they've always been, and they continue to be great people that we really value our relationship with all you guys. It's just funny, from the broadcaster's seat, to run into you guys and still, it's like we were on the ice celebrating that win with you guys yesterday. Like, it never goes away. It's been special to kind of maintain a friendship with all you guys and have you on our podcast. And it's a lot of fun. Now let's get down to some serious business here, Caleb. Okay. Because like I mentioned, big Red Wings fan on the show here. Lanny's a big Wings fan. He was giving it to me the other night before the Caps dusted them. It's tight. As we record this, there's about 5 or 6 games left for my Caps. They're currently losing to Pittsburgh, which makes me so happy. Yeah, they're losing. My favorite team to lose to, by the way. Exactly. It might go down to the wire here. If I won't ask you who you think's going to make it, because ultimately, they're two good young teams. They got bright futures. Are you, with that in mind, though, are you going to be disappointed if the Wings don't make it? Or are you still kind of in that mode where you're like, I see the rebuild and where it's going? Or are you going to feel a little shortchanged, if you will, by Stevie Y's plan here?
I can't believe how close the wild card race is. I think it was Biz Nasty tweeted something about what a season this has been in every aspect. But, like, to be a franchise like the Wings, I think it'd be a disgrace not to have Patty Kane in the playoffs. Like, I don't know how good would that be for hockey to have Patty Kane in the playoffs again. Whoever they play, he's going to do something special. I will be honest with you. I'm looking at all the Detroit Red Wings stuff in my basement here in Listowel, but I have, I don't know if it was Mark Kennedy from all the years of him chirping me back in Listowel because he's the biggest Leafs fan, but living in Toronto, I don't know if I'm swinging the other way here, but I'm becoming
yeah. Come on aboard the bandwagon, buddy. No worries.
I am praying for some playoff success this year. And I've been to a couple of games, and I'm just I'm still rooting for Detroit, but ever since Lidstrom and Datsuk and them left, it just hasn't been the same. And I don't know if I bandwagon the Leafs. You can't say bandwagon them when they don't have success, but.
No, but
I'm rooting for the Caps.
Thank you for that. I'll say this, Clarkey and I have had conversations on this show over the years, and I'm number one Caps guy. It's never going away. It's never going away, ladies and gentlemen. That's a Stanley Cup, by the way. It's never going away.
Awesome.
But I will say as well, I'm not on the bandwagon, but I am a cheerleader for my friends. And despite the disagreements we have on the show, Clarkey's a buddy of mine, and I would like to see the Leafs do something for him as well. So I feel where you're coming from, but I will say this: don't ever lose that passion for the Wings. The Winged Wheel is a special franchise too. You can't. Lanny will disown you if you disown the Wings.
Oh, I know.
Don't do it.
He's a passionate.
Okay, forget about the Red Wing talk. So, do you think the Leafs are better heading into the playoffs this year than they were last year?
Absolutely.
So do I.
I watching them, and I think it's like a culture change. I think Ryan Reeves, like, he's really coming around.
He has.
And Domi and Bertuzzi and the back end, like how mean they are and big they are, they're gonna be brutal to play against. And like I swear, it's no matter how good you look in the regular season in the NHL, it's just like whoever has the grittiest team on the blue line, like Florida did last year, usually goes far. And they finally got that secondary scoring too. Like I don't know who's going to be in the game one lineup and stuff, but they have some real talent on their third and fourth lines. You just hope you don't. You hope they handle the pressure though. God, those guys must be what they feel. I can't imagine.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's incredible stuff. I want to ask you as well quickly before we let you go, the guy who's at the center of it all, literally and figuratively, that Austin Matthews kid, pretty good player, like not a bad player, right? You set eyes on him live the other night, scored a goal. He's putting together like 2 back-to-back all-time heater seasons that, in my opinion, might go down as 2 of the greatest back-to-back seasons in terms of goal scoring ever. Like I would certainly put it top 10, maybe even top 5. It's insane what this guy's been able to put down. Like, do you think, because there's a lot of chatter about it lately, do you think if health aside, hopefully he's healthy, do you think there's any realistic chance that someday we could be talking about him breaking Ovi's all-time goal record? Similar to what Ovi's going to do to Gretzky here pretty soon?
I don't think you want to hear it, but I think like him, like what marvels me every time I watch Austin Matthews is his sheer strength. And like, I know Ovi had it, but like if you watch him in the corner and his tenacity and ability to just knock guys over, like he's just superhuman in so many ways. And if he stays healthy, which I hope he does. You always hope a great player like him does. I think it's inevitable. I don't want to tell you as an Ovechkin fan, but I think it's inevitable at the way he scores and the things that he can do with the puck. It's so different than McDavid and stuff. He doesn't do it at those high speeds and stuff like that. But like, I have so much because I'm just in awe of every time he knocks guys off the puck and his strength, and like his forearms must be the size of my quads. I swear, like. It's just, it reminds me of a good old Minto 81 Wayne Williams. The way he's able to knock guys over in the corner sometimes.
Yeah, he's something, man. It's incredible watching that guy fill the net. And it was incredible watching you win all those titles. Another one on there. You're going to be running out of fingers to throw. You're going to turn into Tom Brady pretty soon here, buddy. You're running out of knuckles.
Southwestern Ontario.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Southwestern Ontario's Tom Brady. It's not a bad title. He's the one and only Caleb Warren Warzy. Congratulations on another one, brother. Clarkey, real quick.
Official friend of the show now.
Yeah.
100. He was already a friend of the show, but now it is because Clarkey said so. Yeah. Bookmark it, stamped, official friend of the show. Warzy, it's a pleasure, buddy. I hope I see you for some of this series. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, all of the Cyclones games, you can catch them on CKNX Radio and CKNX.ca. Warzy, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday for everything to start. Thanks so much for being on the show, brother. Good luck to your Wings.
Hey, thank you. Absolutely. Call me anytime, guys. This is awesome.
Go Leafs go.
All right, everybody. Yes, go Leafs go. A shocking bandwagon join here by our buddy Caleb Warren. And hey, you know what? Warzy's a winner, so maybe some of his winning mentality will rub off now that he's on the bandwagon. You never know, Clarkey. You're going to welcome a guy like this. You need him.
Absolutely.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Clarkey and I are going to dig more into what's been, as we just talked about, a ridiculous race to the finish here in the NHL.
And the Jays are hot, red hot.
Oh, the Jays,
maybe
aren't
they're
they
not.
ever
Maybe they're
red
not.
hot? It's incredible. The computers must be on fire in the office. We'll talk about that next here on Instigating. Welcome back to Instigating with Clarkey and Drury, brought to you by our friends, of course, at Conway Furniture, Highway 86, east end of Listowel. We're going to hear more from them later. Of course, the couch potato coming up later on. Our friends at Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC,
Yes.
where even though we're getting a last little nor'easter blast of winter,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter because you know what, Clarkey? Just say it for me.
You say it better.
The deals are hot. No matter the temperature.
That's
no
right.
matter. The deals
That's right.
are hot. And the deals are hot right now.
Hudson's Truck Month is on right now. And boy, do we have a selection of trucks, and we have some offers that we haven't seen in a long time, up to $6,500 off a cash purchase on some select half tons, and zero. I said zero. You know what zero is? Zero's like the amount of hits the Jays got on Monday night. Zero. No hits, but 0% financing. In this case, it's a good thing. Up to 60 months on select half tons. 0%. We haven't seen that in a long time either. But let's keep talking about zeros, because this team, this Blue Jay team right now is a bunch of zeros in my mind. I think they're right where they're going to be all year. I think they're going to be in last place all year. Like, I really do. Boston's off to a good start, and they were the only team I thought maybe they had a chance to beat.
Yeah, see, I still think the Red Sox stink. It's another level of stink. The odor is still present, but I think it's a more severe odor. Like, I would compare it to, like, you know, when like a pie goes bad on your shelf and you're kind of like, oh, what's that? That's
pie never
Blue
goes bad on my shelf, by the way.
No, I know. That's why I said, you know how, as if like it's a thing.
It never happens here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't go bad on my shelf. Why do you think I wear black on this show so much? It's very felt. It takes 10 pounds off.
Keep thinking that.
Yeah. We're going to have a conversation. That's the Blue Jays odor. And then there's like, you forgot to empty like the trash compactor and you went on vacation and came home, and that's the odor you come back home to. That's the Red Sox. So, I guess stranger things have happened. Like, the Red Sox struggled to beat the Oakland Athletics the other day.
The Sacramento Athletics that we're going to call them?
Hold on.
Sorry. Yeah, we won't get into that yet.
Now, I could not believe the insane thing, and this is so Jays, the occurrence we saw Monday night. They shock everybody and split an opening year series at the Trop, and in the two games they lost, they were junk, but they split. They hate that building. They don't play well in that building. I believe they're 20-48 there over the last 6 years or something.
It wasn't a bad start.
No, we were all thinking, oh my gosh, Kevin Gausman looked on fire. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Monday, they head to Houston, and this is so Jays. They go into Houston, who's 0-4 after getting skunked by the new look New York Yankees. Say that fast. And some guy, and I say this with respect.
No, you're right, though. Never heard this guy.
I watch a lot of ball.
Yes.
Some guy named Ronel Blanco.
Yeah.
No hits them. It's the most Blue Jays-y thing ever. And I said I was calling game 3 of the Guelph Storm first round series. They unfortunately got swept. Storm season over. We love the Storm. I said at the rink that night to my broadcast partner, Mark Perry, watch the Jays. This is what I said. Watch the Jays get shut out tonight. I said that, hand of God. I said that thinking it can't possibly be worse than that, right? But the Blue Jays, you know what they do deliver well? Not hits, crushing soul demeaning disappointment, because I sat there and called the game and thought, I'm going to open my phone and see that the Jays have lost 7-0, which they did again the other night. By the way, it was 9-0. I think the other loss that they had,
one hitter.
But I thought, oh, I'll probably see a shutout, but they'll probably have got some hits, racking stuff. Nope. The first notification on my phone when I looked post game, the first no-hitter of the Major League Baseball season has been thrown in Houston by Ronel Blanco, a guy who, no joke, Clarkey, and I say this with respect again, was literally working at his cousin's car wash in 2018 and has been a suitcase around the world of baseball. Forget Major League Baseball. I wanted to set myself on fire. I was that.
Don't go there.
No, but I don't know why I get this angry, because we talked about this weeks ago with our friend Rob Longley. We knew this was coming, and I'm still upset. Why am I like this? Why do I allow myself to be victimized by this franchise and their computers?
The computers. Let's talk about game 2 of that series. They're down 1-0. So now they're like danger of getting shut out back-to-back games. Down 1-0, top of the 9th. First guy gets on, double play. Bichette hit into a double play, or Vladdy did one or the other. I can't remember.
2 strikes.
And then Turner comes up and walks. Okay, good. Now we pinch run for Varsho. Good. Okay. Davis Schneider, home run. 2-run shot. Backs against the wall with 2 out in the 9th. Perfect. Jays win 2-1. Guess what the computer said about the next day? Well, Davis Schneider shouldn't be playing this game. Let's not play him. Now, you got to be able to, as we've said all along, and we've said so many times, the computer doesn't know if a player's hot or not, or if a player just came off an incredible moment in the game before. How the heck does he not play the next game, start the next game, which they then get 1 hit against? I don't get it. I don't know. I want a manager who manages. And I don't know if it's John Schneider or if it's the upper management.
It's not. I don't even feel.
But Schneider, he must be the puppet, as we've said before, obeying the rules of the baseball gods above him. Must be.
I can't even muster any actual emotional or analytical feeling about John Schneider as a manager anymore, because I don't think we have ever or will ever see what he actually is as a manager, because the situation that he is in doesn't allow him to manage. And I think that he will probably, after this season, end up somewhere else, do a great job potentially.
I don't really think
maybe not. He'll land somewhere else. I would equate it, because I love the Jays, and everyone knows on here I'm a much maligned, as we all are, Oakland A's fan. I would equate it to Bob Melvin in Oakland. Different situation, but here's where it all, follow me along this journey. Bob Melvin had one of the best young groups of players I've ever seen assembled, because Billy Beane and his staff are incredible at finding talent. That's the one thing Oakland's always had. Sean Murphy. Let me run down this list of all-stars that are playing. You'll recognize every name if you're a ball fan, who aren't Oakland A's anymore. Sean Murphy, Matt Olson, Marcus Semien, Matt Chapman, Sean Manaea, Chris Bassett. I could go on. All were Oakland Athletics for a period of time.
A lot of those were Jays too, and they're no longer here.
Yes. And they wouldn't pay them. And the exodus began, and cheap boy John Fisher, we'll hear from him later, don't worry, let them go. So Bob Melvin never was afforded the opportunity to see out and succeed and potentially chase down a World Series with one of the best young groups of talent I've ever seen assembled, ever, anywhere. John Schneider's in a similar situation where he's not allowed to show us who or what he is as a big league manager. We know he can win at, in the minor levels. He's done so. He managed these guys in AA, won championships down there. We know that he has winning pedigree, but the difference was there wasn't a computer genius running the team. And I don't feel that we will ever in this market, as Jays fans in this country, truly ever be able to say, no one can tell me to my face with confidence, and I believe them. I think John Schneider is a bad/good manager.
Yeah,
how the hell are we supposed to tell, Clarkey?
No, we can't. We can't tell because of what we've just said. And unfortunately, he's just a guy who doesn't have the big league balls to stand up and do what he thinks is right. I honestly believe that. And I think if he had full reign of this team, and not had to worry about answering to anyone, and everyone does. But you know what? There's managers out there who don't. And if you watch Moneyball, you'll see it. What's the Oakland manager at the time? Moneyball, when Billy Beane just kept changing his players because he wouldn't play the players he wanted them to play. So he kept trading them, like Jason Giambi and those guys. It was an older... What was the manager's name? I can't remember.
I'm kicking myself right now because I'll look it up for you because that's a key. And to be fair, in that movie, by the way, and they even said it afterward, he was portrayed very unfairly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Because the movie really dramatized the team and this underdog plucky new wave thing. And it really emphasized Billy's side of the story. They ignore the fact it was Art Howe. Who was a beloved major league manager,
but
player,
boy,
all of it.
But he managed. You give me the players, Billy, and I'm going to manage them. And
that's the thing.
It's not. I mean, and who knows what they embellished? But like Cedal Gaston,
well, I'll tell you,
and managers who just managed last year in the major leagues and won. They have pedigree, and they're not going to go by computers. Like, I don't understand. If the computers have won championships in the past, then fine. But to me, it seems like it's the old school managers who are saying, you give me the team and you leave me alone, that are winning.
Look, and again, and I want to stress this for everybody. I believe in the power of analytics. I do.
Absolutely.
However, I do not believe in that power of that information, which in baseball, we've said this many times, Clarkey, I maintain this. In baseball, it's more prevalent than any other sport because the whole sport relies on the
100%.
same thing happening over and over and over. A pitcher throws a ball across the plate and a man tries to hit it. Now, that said, I do not believe in that power lording over how a baseball team of human beings is run. Now, have computers greatly contributed to championships? Let Theo Epstein tell you. Yes, they did. And you see it in the little title card at the end of Moneyball. Theo Epstein took the job in Boston instead of Billy Beane. Remember, he was offered the biggest salary of all time for a GM at the time, chose not to leave Oakland. Theo Epstein took his philosophies, applied them. See that word there? Applied them.
Yeah, exactly.
To the Red Sox, ended the curse of the Bambino, and then he did it again in Chicago and ended that curse too. They can help you elevate aspects of players' games. Now, the thing with the Moneyball movie is that what they embellished was what Art Howe, who, by the way, I thought Philip Seymour Hoffman did a tremendous job, God rest his soul. But the way he was portrayed in the film, if you read the book and know about it, Art Howe, yes, is not fair because Art was not that dismissive of Billy. He was actually very receptive to what Billy was doing, but they needed a foil, right? Because it's a movie. Sure. They needed a foil for Billy to butt heads with, right? Art was a tremendous manager, and he and his family were actually vocally, you can read about it, very upset with the way he was portrayed. Also, the movie skirts, this is why I'd encourage anybody that liked the movie to read the book. The movie kind of skirts over the fact that, like, Pena was an all-star. They had Chavez, who was an all-star. They had 3 of the best pitchers in the league, Hudson, Mulder, and Barry Zito. You don't even see them in the movie.
No.
They're not part of it. They had literally 3 ace pitchers, but I love the movie. Okay.
I love the movie too, and I just watched
it
recently. So anyway,
I watch it once a month. I love it so. It's a great. I really do. It's one of those movies that for me in terms of sports, which by the way, sometime soon we're gonna do a sports movie like playoff. Where Clarkey and I are going to make a list of 10, and this was an idea I had floating around. We're going to do a sports movie show. We're going to do it. We're going to bring on a special guest for that, by the way. It's one of those movies for me now that has almost turned into like what Shawshank is, where like if you see it on TV, it doesn't matter how far into the movie it is. I can't turn the channel and I watch it to the end. I can't do it. I cannot turn Moneyball off. Or Shawshank Redemption, the greatest movie of all time, by the way. Now, I want to just say on the Davis Schneider thing as we rope back around into Jays land, remember when he debuted last season and he came in the first time any of us ever laid eyes on Davis Schneider, at least certainly for me, I'd never heard of him. I thought, wow. Who's this cat in the cool glasses with the slick mustache?
Yeah, that's what everyone
Look at him. He looked sharp. Yeah. He looked like a ball player. He looked like he walked right out in 1974. And I thought, look at this old school looking cat. I wonder what he's going to do. Oh, home run. He debuted against the Boston Red Sox and across that 4-game series, toasted Fenway. He was the talk of baseball. He wasn't just talk of Jays Nation. Everybody was talking about him. Very next series, benched for game 1.
Computer.
Benched for game 1.
Computer.
Oh, I can't do it. I just don't know how much more I can take. The start of the baseball season's been unbelievable. The storylines, we talked about the Ohtani thing last week. Yeah. He doesn't seem to care. He smokes his first homer as a Dodger. The fan wants to sell the ball for like $2 million. It's unbelievable. Maybe use it as leverage with a bookie. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. It's illegal in California. It's illegal. It's been incredible, but unfortunately for us that want, good storylines with the Blue Jays, they're hard to find. Yeah. They're hard to find. And Vladdy,
they're all negative. They're all negative.
He smokes that monstrous home run to open the season. Yeah. 450 feet. What's going on? What's going on, Vlad? What's going on? Like, is that it? Is that the only home run we get for a couple weeks now? Is this guy a superstar or isn't he? Help me figure this out, because he's in danger of not being a Blue Jay. He is in danger of not being a Blue Jay. And
whatever. And I'm not sad about that. They haven't won with him.
How can we be sad? It keeps getting worse.
I know it does. It keeps getting worse.
I like
talk about worse. Like I don't know if you watched the what game was it? The Houston game. I think it was the middle game of the series, but the Sportsnet broadcast. Like, in all due respect to Buck and Dan, they didn't know. Like, they got to get some help, and that where there was a pop-up to Kirk, and he nonchalantly tossed it back to the pitcher, and a guy tagged from first and ran to second. They had no idea. And then they were showing the replay from behind the plate to show what happened while Kirk was picking off Altuve at third base. We never saw that either. And Dan didn't see that either. It was a disastrous inning for Sportsnet. It was just awful broadcasting. It was terrible.
So what happens when you don't send guys to the games? So what happens when you
Well, they do. I mean, Dan's there. He's at the game. Buck and Dan are at the game, and they have a spotter up in the booth. Yeah, they are. 100%. They're there. They showed them in the booth the other night. They go, but Ben Schulman and the guy who he has with him on the radio, his name's escaping me right now, are not there. They don't send those guys. But they'll send Ben Nicholson Smith to write online about the game, and they'll send him there. Because online is way more important than radio, Anyway, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
You're driving the bus here, brother.
Don't get me started. It's just, I felt bad for Dan and Buck because when they go to a replay, their job is to look at the monitor and react. They can't look at the field and the monitor at the same time. But the truck should be watching what's going on. Because when they went back from the replay, Altuve's in, like, the whole Jays team is in the dugout, and Dan's like, what just happened?
Broadcasting 101, brother.
They picked the guy off at third base. Anyway, bad timing for a replay, and it really sewered them.
Broadcasting 101.
Yeah, for sure.
There it is. Well, yeah, we're getting redder here, or at least I am. I'm going to be matching the stop sign back here, and I got to stop talking about the Blue Jays, okay? But guess what?
Hold on,
take a quick break. Okay, yes.
Well, we haven't done rapid fire.
Oh, okay. You're prepared
for ready?
Rapid fire.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to throw some things. I have a few maybe quick questions to ask you.
I love that you're committed. I love this.
I am committed. Okay, did
it's
the Jays finish? Jays finish higher than fourth in the East, in the Eastern Division?
God, I still think yes. I think they finished third.
Wow. Okay. So John Schneider finished the season as the manager. I think if they finish third, you know your answer.
Yeah, I think so. And he gets canned in the summer or the fall.
Who makes the wild card in the East in the NHL?
Caps. Wings.
Caps and Wings.
Caps and Wings. I think they'll both get in.
So that means Tampa doesn't get in?
Oh, that's true. Right. Yes. I'm all messed up with my math.
Yeah.
No, Tampa. Tampa.
Caps.
Sorry,
Tampa.
Warzy.
Okay.
Sorry, Warzy.
And Tampa's winning again tonight. The Leafs might be a wild card team soon.
I don't know.
Austin 63. Where does he end?
71.
Whoa, he makes it, eh? I predicted 72 on the show not about a month ago, so I'm going to be close.
71.
Who wins the Masters? No, you don't have to answer that. We're going to get into that next week. That was my little tease for next week's show as we...
I want to answer, but
no,
I'll leave it. I'll leave it.
You got to leave it. You have first
That's
pick
a
next
tease.
week. You got... Well, so
yes,
really
I do.
You have first
yes,
pick.
I do.
Yep, for sure.
Yes, I do, sir.
Who has
Is
second
that
pick?
it?
I think I do.
You do.
Yeah,
you do.
I have second pick. That's it for rapid fire this week. We didn't get the sound effect. Adam, where's the sound effect? Got to get a sound effect for rapid.
We'll get a sound effect. You're throwing a lot at the producer's feet.
Yeah, that's fine.
In the moment.
That's fine. I know.
We'll get it because Adam's the best. We're gonna get it, okay?
And we need a
sponsor.
So if you want to sponsor the show,
rapid fire. Come on.
Yeah, we can change the name too to suit your business.
We'll figure it out. So, hey, we're very flexible here. Unlike the Toronto Blue Jays brass, we're very flexible with how we do things on this show.
That's right,
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we don't worry about computers.
No, we don't. When we come back, we're going to get a little more fired up, okay? Because I have something that I need to address here as part of our Couch Potato segment brought to you by Conway Furniture. That is next on Instigating. Back to wrap things up here on Instigating with Clarkey and Cherrey, brought to you by our friends at Conway Furniture, Highway 86 East End of Listowel, Larry Hudson, Chevrolet Buick GMC, and of course, Listowel Squash Courts. Time for our favorite segment. It's our title segment, Couch Potato, brought to you by our friends at the aforementioned Conway Furniture, Highway 86 East End of Listowel. Clarkey.
I think for the last time this year, I'm going to put the appropriate hat on, but this hopefully will be the last time.
Yes.
No more toques. This is it.
Yes.
Right, Mother Nature?
It's over.
This should be it.
One last nor'easter, all right? Now, as
no
always,
more nor'easters. Done.
As always, I want to quickly read this because I just saw it. Quickly.
Okay, read it.
On the Blue Jays note. Last thing. The Blue Jays are the first team in modern MLB history since 1901 to be victimized by a no-hitter and a one-hitter within the first 7 games of a season. Thank you very much, computers. The computers are wrong. Okay, you know what's not wrong? Our friends at Conway Furniture and Adam, lamps are in. We got lamps in. Dude, Conway Furniture, it's not, we call this segment Couch Potato, okay? it's not all about couches and love seats over there. They got all sorts of stuff in there, flooring, different rugs, kitchen sets. And look at this. They got a mountain of lamps in there.
The shipment is here.
The shipment is here. Look at all this stuff, man. There's something for everybody there. You need a new lamp. You know, even though the lights might not be on in the Blue Jays front office, you can get a new lamp and turn the lights on in your house and have it look magnificent. You know what? Look at all of that showroom space. You're seeing all these lamps. That's a vast, massive room full of great stuff. Look at you get a peek at some of the sofas in there. You want one of those? Well, guess what? When you go in and you look at the price, HST and delivery, that's right, delivery included in the price. Thank you very much. Clarkey.
And if you're wondering where
Yes.
Conway Furniture is, Adam?
Conway Furniture, Highway 86, just east of Listowel.
There we go. Thank you, Phil Main.
Thank you, Phil Main. And Clarkey, thank you for the heat you're about to give us here on your couch potato of the week.
Well, heat is what you teed me up with, and I'm on a little heater about this guy because I really don't think he's much of a hockey player. I witnessed him in person when I went to the Leaf game. And he ran at one Leaf and knocked him from behind. He charged him. He left his feet, charged him, and then got in a fight with Ryan Reeves. And then against the New Jersey Devils on Wednesday night, there was a line brawl to start the game. And of course, the Rangers' Matt Rempe was in the middle of it and the instigator in all of it because he flies around with his elbows. And Adam, you can roll the viz, but like, look at these elbows he's hitting these guys with. Like he's a dirty he's a dirty player. I wouldn't even categorize him as a hockey. I don't think he's that good, Ryan. I don't think he can play hockey. This is all he can do from what I've seen so far. He can elbow guys. He can charge guys as he can fight. He didn't play, I think it was a healthy scratch the 4 games prior to Wednesday night. But of course, he's in the lineup against the Devils because they're expecting mayhem at the Garden. And they got it. McDermott and Rempe go at it. And the whole 5 skaters on the ice fought right off the top of the game. And I guess 8 players were suspended.
8 ejections.
Got ejected from the game, and both teams had to play with four defensemen, I believe, because of that rule. If that rule that if you start a fight after a fight is already broken out, you get a game misconduct. Well, the fight happened 1 second into the game, so they lost it. There's the viz of it, and I don't know. It's the Rangers won. The Rangers did win. But here they are right off the top of the game. Refs come over, little chit chat, and there we go. Mayhem breaks out.
That Hudson
Rempe's
River
fight
rivalry
didn't even start first. Like it was this other one right at the bottom of the screen that broke out first. But they all teed up. And I just don't think he's that good of a hockey player.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
do you think he's good? Like, do you think he can play hockey?
I don't know. Clarkey, I just haven't seen enough of him do anything other than this stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say that's what a lot of people said about Tom Wilson back in the day. Let's see what this guy turns into. Tom Wilson's a 20-goal scorer. He's a Stanley Cup champion. I'm willing to be patient, but this guy's got to get himself under control. I respect that he stood up because the Devils, they wanted him, and he stood up and fought. That he's been requested to fight a lot, including that night you were there against Reeves. Reeves was going at him all game. Finally, he obliged and really didn't need to. So I respect that he's there. He answers the bell. You got to respect that.
And Travis Green and Peter Laviolette go at it as well. I don't know what they could have been going at. Like the visiting has to set their roster first. So I don't know. Laviolette didn't have to put those guys on the ice at first, but whatever. Like, I don't know what they could have been possibly arguing about.
It's a hell of a thing.
My buddy, Travis Green, I knew Travis really well when he played for the Leafs. I hooked him up with a vehicle.
Well-liked guy.
Close. Yeah, he was a good guy.
Well-liked guy.
Him and Darcy Tucker were good buddies.
He's a popular dude in NHL circles for
good
reason.
Matt Rempe, you're my couch potato this week.
And before we move on, the pride of Sauble Beach, Curtis McDermott, was fighting him, right?
Yes, he was. Yeah, well,
My boy that
McDermott
used
was
to
the
be on
one
the
after
Avalanche.
that elbow that got Rempe
Yeah.
suspended that said, I lost respect for the
Yeah.
kid and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup champion, by the way.
Absolutely.
Thanks for that, Adam.
Yes,
You're
producer
welcome.
Adam, dropping the hot heat here, and
Yeah.
and that's what Couch Potatoes all about. And
Yeah.
it's my turn now, and
is.
I'm going to get some video assistance. This courtesy of an account on Instagram called
Yeah.
Better.
I bet I know where
BETR.
we're going here.
Listen,
Are we going?
I've
Oakland?
talked a lot, and you brought it up. You brought
I
it up
did.
tonight, Clarkey. The
Yeah.
Moneyball, Oakland. Yeah, I'm an A's fan, and not for much longer. Not for much
Really?
longer.
Okay.
With this Vegas stuff, Sacramento, it's a joke they're ripping this historic team away. There's been a lot of hatred toward John Fisher and the ownership for good reason. It never ceases to amaze me how you sit there, Clarkey, and go, well, it can't possibly get any worse, can it? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to roll the video right now, producer Adam. Yes, it can get worse. Go ahead.
Drama going on right now, so buckle up and listen. Here's a little background on what's happening with the A's recently so you understand what's going on. The A's owner is moving the A's from Oakland to Las Vegas because the city of Oakland will not pay for their new stadium. He's really cheap. He doesn't want to pay for it himself. And because of that, A's fans are pissed off at him. They want him to sell the team. But yeah, now let's get into the drama that happened recently. It all starts with this man, Esteury Ruiz. He got sent down to the minors yesterday in kind of a shocking move. As a rookie last year, Ruiz led the AL in steals and was by far the A's best hitter so far this year. You'd think someone who went crazy their rookie year last year and is dominating already this year would stay up in the majors, right? Wrong, because it seemed like the A's didn't even want him on the opening day roster. And to pair with that, the A's' weird antics this season continue with Brent Rooker, the A's' lone all-star last year. He's been riding the bench this entire season, but there's a very good theory on why Esteury Ruiz got sent down and Brent Rooker has not been playing. This was tweeted out by Last Dive-Bar, an Oakland A's fan apparel company who organized the protest for selling the team and everything last year with the A's. These are pictures of Esteury Ruiz and Brent Rooker rocking their merch, Last Dive-Bar bracelets. If you look at Last Dive-Bar's website, it's very obvious they're against the A's ownership group right now, with boycott merch, the exact shirt everyone was wearing to the reverse boycott last year, where A's fans packed the Oakland Coliseum to protest their owner. They even sell shirts that say Fisher out. That's their owner. So when the A's lone all-star last year and their best player this year were either benched or sent down to the minors, it really makes you think about how an organization the Oakland A's really are. Just for wearing bracelets of a brand that helped protest, these two ball players are getting absolutely screwed over by the organization. And you know what? Because of that, I might buy one of these shirts. The A's really are the worst run organization in sports. I can't.
Thank you very much to our friends over at Better and for producer Adam for rolling that. I don't know what else to say. I can't.
Crazy stuff.
We don't have
man.
time.
That is crazy.
We don't
stuff.
have time, and I can't.
No.
I cannot blow my top off here. But this is the level of disgusting hypocrisy, indignity, and intolerance, whatever other verbiage you want to throw at it. If you can watch something like that, and those two guys, by the way, Esteury Ruiz led the league, yes, as mentioned in steals last year. To start the season before he was sent down midweek this week, he was hitting over 400.
When did they spot the
Can't have
bracelet?
him.
When did they spot that?
Spring training.
So, but they
And
kept him on the team until this week. So why?
I don't know. And Brent Rooker, who was really one of the only bright spots about these, along with Ruiz last year.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible that they're doing this. And if anybody out there is sitting there still and going, yeah, they should move the A's, no one cares about them there. The fans care. This guy, the Silver Spoon Gap baby, John Fisher, is being absolutely enabled by the worst group of owners in professional sports.
As we've said it
and
all
Rob
along.
Manfred. They are allowing this indignity to happen, and it gets even worse because now they're screwing over players that just want to have a major league career. It's not fair. My Couch Potato, the entire Oakland A's organization that are behind this.
Yeah, we've talked about it many times, how owners hold cities hostage and fans hostage. And if they don't get their way, they say, we're going to move. And like, what a storied franchise, been around so long.
The second most World Series ever.
Yeah, and the Jays had some great series with them in the 80s, or 90s. Like the
90s,
Robbie
yeah.
Alomar hitting the home run against Eckersley. Like, great
Canseco
memories.
triple deck.
Yeah, Canseco, the ball
Eckersley.
hitting his head and going over the fence.
Yeah.
And the pitchers, like I was in rotisserie baseball leagues back in the mid 80s, and we would always pick Oakland pitchers because of the vast foul territory there. It seemed like the pitchers there were always good, like Dave
It's
Stewart,
a pitcher's park.
for sure. There's so much foul territory, and they mounds the bullpen mounds right in like the fields, players tripping over them. But it just goes to show that the owners just hold the cities hostage. Could happen to the Toronto Maple Leafs one day. You never know. Let's hope not,
know, man.
Let's hope not.
We
but
can't.
like now, and I have one other question for you. Like there was 3,500 or so at the opener, but I heard, and I didn't see this viz, there was like 30,000 people outside the stadium.
There were, yes, they had
That's
a
crazy.
gigantic opening day rally.
Good for them,
parking
though.
lot.
Good.
That's the thing. People say, "Oh, Oakland doesn't care. The fans are bad." They're not. The fans are fantastic, and they're sick and tired of getting kicked around by this moronic loser. I just, John Fisher, you are the worst in terms of sports franchises. You're the worst human being going, and it makes me sick. Anyway,
all right,
that's I can't do it anymore. I've got to move back into a positive light here, and part of that is,
and they're going to play in Sacramento too. By the way,
we think. I don't even care. I can't.
The
do
next
it
3 years, they're going to play in Sacramento.
You know what?
Thing is
done. For the next 3 years, it won't matter because we'll be here on this show to kick them in the teeth every step of the way, and deservedly so. And you can join us in doing that Friday nights at 8.
Yes.
Sunday nights at 9 with our friends on Whiteman TV. That's channel 6 for Whiteman subscribers. We debut on our YouTube channel Friday nights at 9. Follow us on our social media at Instigating Pod, and you can find the podcast version on all your favorite podcast apps. Thanks to our buddy Caleb Warren. Winners win. He's done it again. Congrats to the Minto 81s on the OEHL Cup. And hopefully we'll be saying the same thing about Warzy's Listowel Cyclones in a few weeks' time. Clarkey, what a great show, brother. This was a fun one. Despite the negativity at the end, we have fun here. All right, that's what Instigating is all about. And we'll be back next week with more for you.